Oh, I am. Hey, welcome to a little conversation about probably it is one of the most popular tours that we here at Maxa Tours run. Tommy Danielson and I are partners in this company, and we started it. Well, we started it because of Rick Steves, because he runs a lot of tours, and he also has a lot of shows on PBS, on public television, I should say, as have I. And for I don't know how long, decades, Rick has run tours, and people come up to me and go, "Well, I want to travel the way you do. Why don't you run tours?" Um, my shows are, to be honest about it, a little more emphasis on food and wine, better hotels. Rick has his audience, which is a little different than mine. At any rate, um, there's a whole lot involved in starting a tour company, licensing, insurance, all kinds of stuff. And my partner Tommy, who's with us today, actually ran one tour a year for about 3 days called the Megado, where he would take aviation geeks like behind the scenes at KLM to see how engines were repaired, and to kitchens where Emirates would make the food for first class flights emanating or well going out around the world. And he said, "Look, we can do tours because I've got all the licensing and all the insurance and all that, and I only use it 3 days a week, 3 days a year, excuse me." And so he said, "Let's start a tour company." And I sort of thought, it's like, let's start a show in your garage. It'll never happen, but it has. So here we are. We started.
So here we are.
We started in 2019, which
Perfect
was a
time.
good start. But then we got to 2020 and 2021, and you know the tune on that. There were no tours anywhere. However, for 2022, we do have some Christmas market tours, our most popular tours. And certainly for 2023, we do as well. Now we have this year. Do you want to describe this year's tours, Tommy?
Yes, let's chat a little bit about the reasoning why we're so hard and gung ho on the Christmas market tours, and it really has to do with the demand. We have 3 coming up this year. One of them which is full, 2 that are about 80% capacity, and we decided to get into that market just because of demand. The majority of people who do Christmas markets, I would say 95 to 97% of Americans that do Christmas market in Europe, they do it through a river cruise. Right. Which one of your sponsors is Emma Waterways, and you went on one of those right before that guy sneezed.
I did just before COVID. I took my 2 granddaughters on a river tour. It was wonderful. But ours are land tours, and I like that because you get to spend a whole lot more time in a city. So
right
on a river tour, you probably have enough time to see the Christmas market, but on our tours, you can also see other things in towns like Vienna and Munich and
right. And the point here is with the there's really nobody that does any good sized, well curated Christmas market tours except for the cruise company. The problem is with river cruises is that you have very limited destinations where you can go to, because there aren't all that many rivers that you can bring all those ships, which means hours and hours on buses if you want to go to see the biggest market. And they offer excursions like that, while we decide to pick and here's where we went back to the TV shows. You did a couple of Christmas specials throughout your career that were very well received, with lots of secrets. And we put one together for 2019, which was our most popular tours that we have for our first year, which we will continue to be offering, which is the luxury tours that starts in Vienna. And in Vienna, we have the lovely Ritz-Carlton, which is a friend of yours, was the general manager there for many, many years. They actually have their own Christmas market on the rooftop of the hotel.
Yeah, it's a little mini Christmas market. It's great fun. Yeah. So our guests will be staying. By the way, we should have said at the beginning, we specialize in small group tours. We're not talking big buses with 30 or 40 people. There might be 10, 12, 16 at the most, probably, people on most of our tours. Just want to throw that in there, Tommy, for people who are listening and might be intrigued by those. Sorry.
Absolutely. Yeah. So maybe we should cover that first. I think we have 2 different tours. The first year we only offered like full luxurious tours, which a lot of people appreciate, but it kind of, there was no free time on those tours because there's something always planned. You are free to go out on your own. But at the end of the day, I think that our experience was, by any means, we are successful internet and media companies, what we run, right? That's our main business. And you're a Emmy-winning journalist, highly respected in the space. But we have to admit that we're not tour operators, right?
We learned a lot. We learned
a lot in the first
tour.
year, and what we learned is that, you know, even if people have the ability to go out on their own, which they should be able to do some shopping. People in generally, they didn't do it though. They didn't go out.
That's because we had something going on all the time, and they were afraid to miss it. Yes. And I think we realized that free time is important, and so we just kept the very best parts of those tours. I mean, we learned a lot in 2019. It was very valuable going on all those tours.
Absolutely,
that year.
And we've decided to split it up. So it was valuable, the feedback we got, and I talked to pretty much everybody that went on a tour in 2019. Obviously, no tours in 2020 and 2021, but lots of tours this year. But at the end of the day, what I learned from people, some first timers, this is a great concept for people to go on the luxury tours, because then you have somebody organizing everything for you. Every single thing that you do from the minute you land at the airport until you leave, you are catered to. So it's not, it's a popular thing, and it's also a good thing in a way. But we wanted to offer something for somebody who wanted to have a meal with their spouse, wanted to do some shopping and do other things. So there is a little bit of free time. So there's, you know, everything's organized. Transportation is included. Hotels are included. The majority of the meals are included, but it's not that hand-holding for the entire time. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Some people prefer it. But
those are called classic tours, as opposed to the first one you described, which we call a luxury tour. And they are less expensive than the luxury tour by about $1,000 or so, $1,000, a little more than that, actually.
Right. So the difference between the classic tour in reality is that there is the luxury tour. There's something scheduled for the entire time. All meals, all drinks are included, and luggage concierge, which is very expensive for us, meaning that you leave your bag in your room when you go to the next destination, and you find it when you arrive to your hotel in the other end. You will find your bags there. So it's very convenient in that sense. But in reality, what it means to us is that, you know, the only thing you need to do on the classic tour is to call the bellhop and bring it down to the reception and make sure that it gets put on whatever transportation is waiting outside. Right. So it's not really that. It's not like you're going to be schlepping like Rick's tours that you have to do. Carry.
We love Rick. He's got his own audience. No
we
question.
Love Rick. We love him to death.
And he does great tours.
See him in San Jose when he's finally coming back. But we've stayed in touch with him throughout the pandemic. He is truly the most generous guy there is. He's been kept all of his employees on payroll for 2 years now without making any money. He is a true mensch, and we love him to death. And but this is just, he offers his thing. You know, it's a little backpacky. It's probably not for everybody. Just like champagne cocktails is not for everybody that goes on your tours, right? So I think that.
So let's talk about what we've got for this year.
Right. Let's do that. Okay. So let's talk a little. So if we talk about the Christmas market tours first, and that's kind of where we're expanding because it's so popular. We have the one luxury tour and two classic. The classic one we started in 2019. Like I said, it's about we have one tour on December 4th. We are taking wait lists for that. There might be somebody not going. You never know.
This is luxury tour, not classic.
Luxury tour, correct. And the
luxury tours. November 27th for how many nights? Till December 3rd?
All the market tours are 7 days, 6 nights. So
okay, November 27th is available. December 4th. Do we have room for one more couple? Maybe
we will take one more couple. It's technically sold out, but we can add a couple on that one.
Okay, and December 11th we have room for more than one more couple. So we have November 27th, December 11th. They're wide open. December 4th, one more couple. And these are the luxury tours. So your luggage is left in your room. It's in your next room when you get there. Right. All your dinners are included, and your breakfasts and your lunches.
Transportation, about 40 first class on the high-speed train.
Yeah, you'll be in first class on the high-speed train between cities, or in a Mercedes Sprinter van or something similar to that if a train is not available. And these are $4,500 each per person.
Correct. And we are also going to provide the 2 tours that are available this year. We have a special at the end of this broadcast that we're going to put out to people. But let's talk a little bit about that real quick.
We're going to knock some dollars off. Yeah.
We're going to definitely knock some dollars off for our friends. Yes. It starts in Vienna, and it's a very special start to this thing because of your connection to the city and the connections that you have there. I mean, the Christmas market at the Rathaus, the main Christmas market is legendary. Beautiful. It's been around forever, and it's a great thing. We're also visiting the Habsburg Palace and the Amhof Market, and of course, we're also doing the Lipizzaner stallions at the Spanish Riding School, which are a thing. And you're also taking us, which I think is the highlight of Vienna, except for the actual markets themselves. You're taking everybody to a private wine club where it's really not open to the public. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's underneath a very luxurious hotel there that I had never heard of until I learned about the guy who runs the wine operation there. It's one of the largest wine cellars in Europe, probably in the top 3. And when you go downstairs into it, the walls are from the original Roman walls of the city of Vienna. And it is room after room of wines. And if you know anything about wines, even if you don't know anything about wines, you'll recognize cases and cases of impossible to get wines from impossible to get years. It's quite a tour. And I remember on our first tour, I knew we had 2 couples who really weren't into wine that much. Right. And I thought, well, I hope they enjoyed a little. They loved it. They said this was the most amazing thing. So we throw that in as a sort of surprise and delight as well. So yeah, Vienna is great fun. And then we go to
Salzburg. Well, we take the high-speed train, which is a very comfortable ride that goes from the hometown of from Vienna to Salzburg, and which is about 2 hours away. We have a light, it's a very comfortable train, a fast train that goes there. Hometown of Mozart, and also Sound of Music stuff. There are some things that we
spend the day there, basically.
Yeah. We have half a day. So we did change. We realized the stop was a little bit short, so we changed that to being an hour longer. So we're literally just moving one train. At the first train, we're going to leave, instead of leaving at 10:30 in the morning, we're leaving at 9:30 in the morning from Vienna, which gives us an extra hour to not be so rushed there. I think that's a change that everybody that went on the tour will welcome.
Yeah, Salzburg's a beautiful, beautiful town. So.
Correct, and a very quaint little place. A little bit, hour and 15 minutes left after in the afternoon when we're done. About 4 o'clock, we'll take the train to Munich, which is the oldest and most famous market, the biggest, the largest, and it is absolutely gorgeous in that city center for sure. I mean, it's just a magical place.
And that's just a piece of it in this picture. That is just part of it.
It goes, if you can see the picture in the middle of the picture, it goes down for blocks and blocks and blocks. It is enormous. So it's just a gorgeous place. And we're staying at the Le Méridien that has in the back, they have a courtyard in the middle. It's a little bit grainy photo that I took. It's a little bit grainy in the background, but they have in the background, they have s'mores and things like that. There's a courtyard. It's, obviously it's right in the city center. It doesn't get more centrally located than that. We had some complaints this year of 2 people who were light sleepers that the street room. So we have put everybody facing the courtyard unless they have requested to have the city view. They were making people that this is how a small tour company can make changes when we get feedback. One couple was enough, so you're facing the courtyard, but it can't get more convenient. You step out of the train. It's literally a 3-minute walk from when you step off the train. You take the escalator down the basement. You walk at a tunnel through that comes out right in front of the hotel. So you're literally it couldn't be more centrally located than that. And also, we found out something today that they've got an Olympic-sized swimming pool in the basement to warm up in the spa, and a big jacuzzi as well. So it's I wasn't aware of this, that they had that at that hotel, but I guess so. So Munich is a magical place. We're going to visit the restaurants we go to is the Hofbrauhaus and the Zughauskeller. And both of those places are, one is easy. The Hofbrauhaus is, they're very stingy on reservations and things like that to get the best spots. We have a deal with the hotel that's taking care of that for us, so we're very happy with that. Then on to Neuschwanstein, which is, obviously the castle from the Disney movies, where we have a tour that leaves in the morning, and we drive. It's in the middle of the countryside. No trains go out there for about an hour and a half. We get on there's a local Munich guy that brings us there. All the lines and everything, they are non-existent with us, which is quite rare. And then you get on the train and you get into Zurich.
Our last stop. Yep.
Correct. And Zurich is, kind of interesting because their main market is inside of the train station, right?
Yep, there it is. And is that the Swarovski crystal tree back there?
It is the Swarovski Christmas tree, and it's got crystals worth $150,000 on it.
Wow.
So it's these crystals are just amazing to look at, and it shines through the whole thing. If you can see, I don't know if you can see it in the photos. When we stream, it's not the best quality, but you can see the spotlights go on it. Like you have on the top of the roof, you'll see the reflection of that. It's just quite a remarkable scene. And the singing tree, and also for the tour that's in the middle has Bremgarten. So unfortunately for there won't be there might be one couple that might be able to jump on that one. But Bremgarten is your best kept secret from your show. You did a segment from there. What's special about that town is that the markets are there for just 5 days a year, and it's only locally crafted stuff. So you don't get all of the you get only the locally made stuff, which is kind of unique and kind of cool.
Yeah, and it's in a suburb. And so we take a local tram from downtown out to it.
Correct.
Very nearby. I mean, it's not a big trip. Yeah, that is a great tour. So Vienna, Salzburg, Munich, Neuschwanstein, and Zurich. That's 7 nights, all luxury hotels, all meals included, and that is $44.95. But at the end of this little webcast, we're going to offer you a significant discount if you let us know you saw this on the webcast. I guess that's the way we're doing it.
Yes, we're going to post the codes at the end. We're going to do that.
Okay. Now next year is when we introduce the classic tours.
We didn't want to introduce them this year's because of the staffing situation and all that stuff.
We also weren't sure about that COVID would be receding as it seems to be now as we broadcast on Thursday, February 24th of 2022. Right. Let's hope that the trend is our friend as we think it is. I mean, European countries are now opening all their borders. Even where I live here in St. Paul, the mask requirement was dropped, and we're a pretty conservative place. It was dropped today, actually. But we did want to design a tour that offers a little more free time. It's a little less expensive. It's about $1,400 less. 23,000. No, it's about
so we have let's start with the Splendid one. So this is the same length as the other one. It's $29.95 is the price of that, and it starts in Prague, which obviously is a pretty interesting city in the Czech Republic.
Right. We have 2 different classic tours, correct?
Correct. We have the let me pull them up on the screen so everybody can take a look at them. I think that's the best way of doing that.
The first one is Prague, Vienna, and Budapest, which you're about to discuss.
So why don't we start talking a little bit about, let me put the tours up, the new tours, because those are just been introduced on the website. So it is
Prague, Vienna, and Budapest is called the Splendid European Christmas Tour.
Correct. Yes. Let's find that one. It is right here.
There we go. The Splendid. So this is a Splendid one.
Right. And it starts in the Czech Republic and in Prague, which has 3 years in a row has received an award for being the best up and coming Christmas market. They're starting to see more of the things. Prague is a really charming city. I'm sure you agree with that. It's lots of good restaurants, sturdy meals, and things like that. And we've decided to offer that for this particular tour. Then we head to Vienna as the second stop, and you kind of have the same element. You visit the same market as on the luxury tour. There's just you're not staying at the Ritz. You're staying at the Hotel Austria, which is a family-owned 3-star hotel, solid 3-star, with a very hearty breakfast, beautiful location in the middle of the city. And you kind of do some of the same things. You don't get the Rudy's Fancy Wine Club, but you get to visit the Schönbrunn Palace, learn how to make strudels, and you all get to see the same exact Christmas market there on that stop. It kind of gives you Austria is kind of an interesting, just a gorgeous, beautiful city. It's a really, really cool place to visit around Christmas time. I think
you get to eat that strudel.
Pardon?
You get to eat the strudel after you make it too.
You get to eat the strudel, you get a cup of cocoa and things like that. Yeah, you get to see the guy. The German guy will make the strudel in front of you. Yes. So that was my a bad attempt at a German accent, or they speak German in Austria. So then onwards to Budapest, which is an interesting, even more interesting city. Very different characteristics with the river,
that divides the city into 2 different sections with a beautiful bridge linking them. Yeah,
correct. Yeah, you know more about that stuff. I've only been to Budapest twice, so I don't remember too much about it. I haven't been there at Christmas time, but it's.
Well, I was there with the granddaughters for Christmas time.
Correct.
There's several markets. You can walk to all of them, and the food is absolutely stunning. The city is divided by a river, as I said, with a gorgeous bridge linking the two. One side is called Buda, one side is called Pest. And the Christmas markets are all on one side. As I recall, I don't remember crossing a river to go to one, but you can cross the river to go to a spectacular church. I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful city that I don't think a lot of Americans know very well, and that they ought to. So.
Right, and we have put in our local guide is taking us to the hospital in the Rock, which is not that very well. So it's an old nuclear bunker that used to be a World War II hospital. Right, it's the siege of Budapest was a long fight towards the end of the war. When the Russians came, and the Germans had a hospital in the Pest side of. Wait a minute, which one is the Buda and which one is the Pest again?
I can never remember. So they were in the one with the big hill, I presume, if they were underground.
You have the flat area where the old town and the markets are, on the other side you have a big hill where all the castles are and everything.
They must have built it into that hill. Yeah.
Right, it's built into that hill. It's quite the fascinating tour. It turned in after it was a hospital, it was turned into a nuclear bunker, and it's very well preserved. It's a fantastic tour. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm a little bit of a history and military buff, but even Melinda, who's not, she really enjoyed that tour. So it's definitely something to look forward to there. Of course, the markets are the main fare, but at the end of the day, it's quite the history that. And
Melinda,
of course, you're on our tour.
Melinda,
you're not interested in that. You don't have to go.
Can I explain Melinda is your wife when you say Melinda? Like I said, and by the way, we're saying isn't it a new Hilton Garden Inn right in center of town?
Brand new Hilton Garden Inn, opened just a couple of years ago, and it's not like a Hilton Garden Inn here. This is a city hotel. It's got full-blown, really good buffet breakfast. It's really a really nice hotel. We checked it out, and it's gorgeous. So it's 4 stars and great heat and air conditioning. Not that we need it in the winter, but great heaters and stuff like that. It's a high quality, strong 4-star hotel for sure in Budapest. Yeah.
You know what we forgot to mention in Vienna is the Fugel. What is it? The Fugelmeier, the place with the world's largest.
Correct. Yeah. So for the classic tours, we have one dinner in each place. We have a dinner, a welcome dinner, and then we have for the first destination. There's 3 destinations for all this, and then we have in Vienna. We're actually doing the Fliegelmüller, which is the same restaurants that we do for the luxury tour for one of the days. The other day we are going to Julius Meinl, which is for the luxury one, but you get to experience the world's oldest schnitzel shop. It's like 200 years old. It's been around forever. You can choose if you want to have pork or if you want to have chicken. But it's the biggest schnitzel in the world, right?
Oh my gosh, it falls off your enormous plate. It's can't be eaten by one man in one sitting, but it's very, very good. And there's always a line to get in, but we have reservations ahead of time, so you won't have any trouble getting a table. Yeah, those are our that's the Splendid one. Then we've got the Charming Towns Christmas tour. Again, this is a classic tour, our lower price tour. This is brand new, only for 2023, as is the Splendid European Christmas market tour we just described. The Charming Towns Christmas market is only in 2023 as well. And we start out in Strasbourg, France, which is said to have one of the best Christmas markets in Europe. Although I'll confess I haven't been there. We're going on the reports of people who have.
Yeah, we're going to go this year and check it out to make sure that we have. But they call themselves the French capital of Christmas is what they call themselves, which, that's a bold statement. And I see a couple of nice teddy bears and a couple of gingerbread guys. And there seems to be a lot of lights. But we've had recons from people we know well that has been there. And so I think that it's also a flair of getting the French flair of the Christmas market too, I think is a little bit interesting.
Mm-hmm. And from there we go to Baden-Baden in Germany, which is the spa city, beautiful parks, beautiful town where the rich and the famous still go to luxuriate in spas. And we'll go to the Christmas market there in Baden-Baden. The nice thing about almost all our towns is they're close to each other. You're not getting on a plane. You're not taking a 6-hour or even 4-hour bus ride. So then we go to Baden-Baden, and that's if you've never been to Baden-Baden, I grew up near it in Heidelberg, which is our last stop, by the way, on this tour. And Baden-Baden was always a big treat for me as a kid to go there because it was so pretty. Yeah.
Right. And Baden-Baden is just over an hour away. So it's a short jump between the cities. And these are like pearls on a string and we picked in the valley there, in the Rhine Valley, we picked, the 3 highlights, I think, that all has the qualities. And yes, we're going to be visiting the famous public spas there which are really cool. You did an episode on that also, I think.
We did.
And so I think if you Google that, you should be able to find it on Amazon. When Rudy, you can see Rudy in his underpants hopping in the spa pool there. I think
I was wearing a bathing suit.
Yeah.
And I want to say a word about Heidelberg, our last stop, because I know we have
before we go there. So it's also interesting to see that for those who are interested in Fabergé eggs, Fabergé, the only and most, so there's a Russian oligarch, ironic today, unfortunately, that wanted to set up a museum. He has by far the largest collection of Fabergé eggs in the world. And he put up a museum that opened in 2009 in Baden-Baden, and there's an option to visit that. It's definitely a cool stop as well. And Heidelberg you've lived there, so I think that you are well qualified to talk a little bit about the castle and the markets there.
Heidelberg is one of the few German cities that was not bombed during World War II by an agreement with the Allied forces that they would preserve this town. So it's a perfectly preserved town. You can see from the picture that it's set up against a hilltop. I wouldn't call it a mountain. I used to play in all those woods up above there. You can see the castle slightly illuminated in orange. The old castle is open to visitors. It's quite breathtaking. You look down on the city. The Neckar River runs in between. It's just a darn pretty town. We're staying at the Marriott. It's a 4-star hotel, and breakfast and dinner are included on day 6, and breakfast and lunch on day. Anyway, you can see by going to maxatours.com the day-by-day itinerary of these tours, which meals are included, what hotels we're staying at, etc. But anyway, Heidelberg is a great way to end your tour here. And if you're flying in and out of Frankfurt, it's a quick train ride to Frankfurt to catch your flight.
Correct. And the tour is $32.95. It is a week long. And the 2 dates we have for 2024 is December 8th and December 15th. Those are the tours we have for those markets there.
Again, you can see the dates and the prices by going to maxatours.com and just pick either just pick the European market tour that appeals to you, and you'll see details about price. I guess we should talk about the discount here.
Yes. So we have for the classic tours, we have $250 off. And
those are for 2023.
Those are only in 2023, correct? They're $250 off for the all the classic tours that are on the website. We sold quite a few of those classic ones this last weekend in Chicago.
That's per person, by the way, per person, right? So $500 a couple off. Yeah.
That is per person, correct? That is per person, and for the
luxury tour,
the one that's the ultimate tour is what we call it. It is. I'm going to put it in the comments, but the comments you probably can't see when you're doing when you're watching it later. You can't see the comments; it'll be all gone. So I'm just real quickly going to.
Well, overall, I can summarize it. All those tours are $4,500 basically per person. And on the November 27th one for this year and our December 11th one, it's $500 off per person. The middle one that only has room for one couple on December 4th is $250 off per person. And then for 2023, when we have two tours, November 26th and December 3rd, it's also $500 off per person. So that's a significant, $1,000 off per couple is a significant discount. How do we get that discount?
Yes, let me put it up on the screen. The codes people can do. They can go to the website they can go to the website and to
they have to put in a code at the website.
Yes, I'm going to put it up on the screen and see if I can do that right now. Let's see here. It only lets me do web pages, but I'm going to try and to do it anyways. And,
I think while Tommy's looking for that, I will tell you the nice thing about small tours is, as he said, we'll talk to you after you book a tour. We will talk to you. Tommy or Melinda will. And, if you want an inside room in Munich so that you're not overlooking the Christmas market because you think it might be noisy, it can be arranged. We will deal with you if you have any dietary issues. We can also handle that. But it's a nice thing about having such a small tour is that we can, and also I got to tell you, if there's something you want to see in a particular city that's not on our itinerary, just talk to us about it and we'll arrange it. We certainly on the luxury tour, we will pay your Uber or taxi fare to get there. We'll pay your entry fee to do it. I remember in Stockholm, one of our guests wanted to see the Abba Museum. So did I. So I went along with her, but it wasn't on our regular tour, but it was great fun. And in Munich, one of our guests wanted to go out of it's a bit of ways out of town to the BMW factory and museum. They have actual tours there in a factory where you can see vintage BMWs. And so we arranged that too. So it's certainly the advantages of traveling with a small group as we do. Because we can personalize things. You got what we need there yet, Tommy?
I put it in the comments. And then
in comments on the screen
now to see if it shows up on the thing for everybody to use. For some reason, it only lets me do web pages, but that's okay. We'll try one more time. If not, we can just contact us via email info@maxatours.com. I'm going to try it one more time and see if we can do it.
Well, I can see it I can see it in comments, but if you contact us at info@maxatours.com, just say you saw this webcast and you would like to qualify for the discount for these tours, and we'll take care of you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to try and see if it shows up. So it's it didn't give me the permission to do that. I'm sorry about that. Usually we just share websites, and for some reason it did not. But the code is 250 off, just in one word. The number 2, the number 5, the number 0. And then off, OFF, and 500 off. Same thing there. So I think that's fairly straightforward. We'll also do that. Do we want to? I see
we got a comment from two Robert and Sarah Koo, who went along on one of our tours. She said, "Small group tours like the Maxa ones is the way to go. Been with them and highly recommend them." Thank you, Roberto and Sarah, for that unsolicited boost. Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys in LA. We're going to be in LA for the travel show there
and this weekend, if you happen to be watching this before February 26th, we will be at the Washington, D.C. travel show downtown at the Convention Center on Saturday and Sunday, the 26th and the 27th of February. So come on down and say hello. The Maxa Tours booth will be there. So.
Great. And do you want to mention the other stuff? I think we covered that in the last one. There are other tours available for next year and this year. And there are.
I send them to the website simply because I have to do another webcast in a moment. So,
Correct.
but but we do have other tours to other parts of Europe. They're all European tours. Again, if you go to Maxa Tours, you can take a look. And if you go down to the bottom of maxatours.com, you can sign up for my free every other week newsletter, which is sort of gossipy insider stuff on travel, deals, what countries are making what COVID rules, funny stuff from travel, serious stuff from travel, tips on maximizing your frequent flyer miles or your hotel points. Just sign up for the tour, the newsletter with your full name and your email. We don't sell it to anybody. I'm not going to sell you anything in the newsletter. It's not about the tours. I may mention the tours from time to time, but it's really an editorial product that I do as a journalist. You can sign up at maxatours.com by scrolling to the bottom of the page, and you can also see all the other tours there too. All right.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us, and thank you for having me, Rudy, to talk a little bit about what we put together. I'm pretty excited about these Christmas market tours, and hope to see you guys on one, and hope to see everybody at the shows that we're going to be doing. There's going to be follow Rudy's stuff on social media for free tickets to attend the Travel and Adventure show. We're going to be the shows that we're going to be on are this coming weekend in Washington D.C. Now today is February 24th. We're going to be in LA March 12th and 13th. We're going to be in New York City at the Javits Center on the 19th and 20th of March. We're going to be in Dallas on April 2nd and 3rd. And we end the show season, or you end the show season, because I'm going to be in Europe in the Bay Area one in Santa Clara, right outside of San Jose, on the May 21st and 22nd.
Well, that sort of takes care of my early spring, doesn't it? That's that's a lot of weekends. But anyway, love to see you at any of the shows. Come say hello.
Yes, sir.